This is Christmas come early. I mean, they are the gift that keeps on giving. Of course, the answer to this question should be the Dallas Cowboys. Now, they won't do it. They won't do it. But the fact that we know they should, and we know that this is an ingredient to their success, but that they probably will drop the ball on this too, makes me smile.
This guy. That was early this week, Wednesday to be exact, because Mad Dog was there. With Stephen A's take on where Davante Adams should go after, Adam Schefter reported the Raiders are willing to listen to trade offers for the star. Cowboys COO Stephen Jones spoke yesterday on Dallas's interest.
No, I don't think there's anything to that. And, Davante's, we just signed our number one guy, and he's the number one receiver. And, as you know, when you have, the challenges cap-wise that we have, that'd be a long putt for us.
SA, up first. Do you agree with Stephen Jones' comments on why they can't add Davante?
Of course not. I mean, listen, they're going to come up with every excuse in the book. We understand this. But in the end, you know what? So you have that explanation. What was your explanation for not going after Derrick Henry? When you knew that you didn't have a running game and you needed a running back. It cost too much, right?
Richest franchise in all
$8 million? $8 million. So you pay CeeDee Lamb $136 million. You pay Dak Prescott $240 million. $60 million guaranteed as average salary, all right? That's what you do. You're going to pay Micah Parsons as well. You're going to have about $125 million chewed up in the cap per year just for those three players alone, okay? You ain't winning a damn thing. And then on top of it all, you have an opportunity to really, really help your $60 million quarterback in Dak Prescott, or who was going to be your $60 million quarterback. And you have a chance to do so by getting one of the elite running backs and bell cows this game has seen. And you pass up on him. He works out in Dallas. He lives there in the offseason. He said publicly he wanted to be a Dallas Cowboy, and still you didn't go get him. Then you go up against him, and he runs for over 150 yards on you. I think he outrushed the Dallas Cowboys 151-51. I think that's what the number was when he went up against the Dallas Cowboys a couple of weeks ago. And so if you have an excuse for him, you'll come up with an excuse for anybody. In this particular instance, is Davante Adams. It's the money he's going to cost in year 25 and 26. It's all of these different things. But in the end, what happens is when it all said and done, it appears as if the Dallas Cowboys were asleep at the wheel in the offseason because they were of the mindset, we have enough. Clearly, they miscalculated. Without question.
Yep. Yeah, listen, in terms of specifically the cap stuff, I mean, he's right. CeeDee Lamb only counting for about $8.75 million against the cap this year. But that's going to balloon all the way to $35 million next year. But Stephen A., you posed a question. You could help your quarterback. You know who it would help your quarterback? Who, by the way, is already leading an offense that's fourth in passing yards? A running back. That would help your quarterback because you are horrible there. And you know who's just wasting away down in Florida right now in football hell and purgatory? Trevor Etienne. Maybe you make a run to go get him. He's already been locked up by the Jaguars, and right now he's going to cost you about $6.1 million in his fifth-year option. So for at least this year and next year, you've got a solid guy who won't count against your cap, still allows you to do the business deals you need to get done with Micah Parsons, and will help your offense that is incredibly one-dimensional.
They're not trying to do nothing. They want to sit there and talk about how broke they are and how they're up against the cap. When all of these people are up against the cap and they find ways to add pieces to their team to be more competitive, it's now just become excuses out of Dallas. It used to be reasons, right? There's a reason we can't do this, a reason we can't do that. It's now excuses why they won't go out and add pieces to this team, and they're going to continue to lose games because of it.
You know it's bad when Stephen A. is getting tired of trolling them. I mean,
last week he said he felt sorry for them last week.
He said, he's actually kind of over it this season. No cigar.
Kicking a puppy when they're down.
Yeah, no.
You know why though?
They're
down too early though. That's the problem for him.
Fun.
That's right, and I tell you that all the time.
Right now. It's
not fun for me because I want Dallas Cowboy fans' holidays ruined.
Yeah.
It's too early. You understand? They get to recuperate, and then they'll recover for Thanksgiving and Christmas. I want their hopes up, and I want it plummeting on Thanksgiving, and even worse on Christmas. That's not what's happening right now. They're taking all the fun out of it. taking all the fun out of it.
Like the same thing they've been saying all offseason about their cap issues. They need money for CD, money for Dak, eventually Micah. This is not a place where he's going to go.
I'll push back. There's a way to do it. It's rare. We saw it with Brock Osweiler a number of years ago, Greeny, but you could have Vegas prepay most of this contract. Obviously, the draft choice compensation would then go up. But if I'm Stephen Jones and I see the way we're playing and we have to play better, maybe Jake Ferguson gets a little bit better. Go get Davante Adams and give up a higher pick.
They already told you that they were all in. But let me explain why Davante Adams is the key to unlocking everything. The first thing that you did when you hired Rex as a coach is go back and get a bunch of guys that knew his system. You brought in Jim Leonard, Trevor Price, myself, Marcus Douglas, and I forget a couple other players, right? But the reason why that's important is because that allows you to have multiple teachers on different levels. So when you're in these meeting rooms, when Garrett Wilson's confused about where to go, he can't ask that question all the time, but Davante Adams can give him the answer and the meeting can proceed. So what happens is if you bring Davante Adams in, you give guys that know the system while everybody else gets caught up. We watched the young guys in Green Bay struggle until week 10, but at that point, the season was almost over. This allows the running game to be secure because now you have Allen Lazard on one side, now you have Davante Adams, and everybody else can get caught up to speed at a relatively slow pace.
All right, we'll see.
Is that Garrett Wilson's second year in the system?
No, it's not. It's not. The system is not the same.
Can't run it without Rodgers.
Without Rodgers. Last year, what he played,
man.
that's why he said on my show, he said, hey, I'm not running as many routes. Last year, he didn't say that because it's certain systems. This is Aaron Rodgers.
Isn't that part of the
you
problem?
You run what Aaron Rodgers tells you to run.
Look,
Isn't that part of the problem, though?
It's a little bit of a mess, and it's a combustible situation. We'll see. Davante Adams expected to get traded perhaps as soon as next week. We'll wait and see where it goes. Our next stop is Philly, because I need a comment from these guys on this. The Eagles are 2-2, but somehow it doesn't feel that way. They've lost 8 of their last 11 going back to last year. They paid Jalen Hurts $51 million a year. He's turned it over 7 times. Only Will Levis has turned it over more. Here's Dan Orlovsky earlier this week.
That's a poorly coached football team. Watch their tape. Number one, since the start of 23, has anyone gotten better on the team? I like that. Jalen Hurts, in a matter of 20 games, has gone from an MVP in the Super Bowl to a liability on offense.
To be clear, he didn't win MVP of the Super Bowl, but he was the best player on the field in that game. And why are you looking like that?
You called him a liability?
He right now, he does not believe Jalen Hurts is playing well. Well, let me add a number. Meg, can we put up C34? Hembo put this number together. Negative plays, okay? So it's sacks plus interceptions plus fumbles, going back to the beginning of last season. There was only 2 guys on the screen in front. Bryce Young has been benched, and I defy anyone to tell me what team Sam Howell is on now. So, I mean,
there's the same one.
There's a lot of lists I want to be on.
That's not the list.
That ain't that one.
So I get it. Jalen Hurts is a good player, and maybe liability is a strong word, but he doesn't look like the same guy, right?
No, he doesn't. And I think, we got to take away last week, right? You don't look at like.
Attention Las Vegas Raiders fans. Today we bring you some explosive news that has the entire NFL on edge. Our star receiver, Davante Adams, could be playing his final games with the team. If you're interested in knowing what's going on and where he could be going, stick around until the end because this is important. It all started when it was reported that Davante Adams asked the Raiders to be traded before the November 5th deadline. This has set in motion a series of rumors that are now shaking the league. According to several NFL sources, many believe that the Raiders could accept less than they were originally asking for in order to facilitate his departure. Currently, the team is reportedly asking for a second-round pick, but some executives think the deal will be done for a third-round pick and some change. CBS Sports reporter Jonathan Jones has confirmed that there is pressure from within the team to get this deal done as soon as possible. Mark Davis, the owner, seems to want this to happen, and rumors say we could see a trade as early as next week. The big question is, where will Davante Adams end up? Adams, who has had a solid career and is a 3-time All-Pro, appears to have a preference for the New York Jets, where he would reunite with former teammate Aaron Rodgers. However, Adams is not closed to other teams. The New Orleans Saints, Pittsburgh Steelers, Baltimore Ravens, Buffalo Bills, Dallas Cowboys, and even the San Francisco 49ers have all shown interest or are options he would consider. One important detail is that Adams does not have a no-trade clause, making it easy for the Raiders to trade him. However, his contract is a sensitive issue. With base salaries reaching $35.6 million in 2025 and $36.6 million in 2026, many teams could have a hard time absorbing that cost. Because of that, there is a chance Adams could restructure his contract to make the process easier. Meanwhile, Adams is dealing with a hamstring injury, which has kept him out for the upcoming game against the Denver Broncos. So far this season, he has 18 receptions for 209 yards and a touchdown in just 3 games. What is clear is that Davante Adams is very close to leaving the Las Vegas Raiders, and although the Jets seem to be the favorites, there are other interested teams that could change the course of this story. Will we see him alongside Aaron Rodgers again, or will he join another contender? Leave your comments and tell us what you think. Don't forget to subscribe for more exclusive news about the Las Vegas Raiders and turn on notifications to always be aware of the latest developments. See you in the next video.